Kicking off with the weekend vibes. Let's talk, we going live. Bobby fans and fish tank Hank. Miami Dolphins, we got your back. Saturday noon is the place to be. Catching Dolphins, talking fantasy. From the field to the fan debate. Fins talk today, don't be late. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Live chatting, stats so prime. Miami hustle all the time. News and views will pave the way. Dive on in, it's Fins talk today. Prop plays and what went wrong. Breaking down each game so strong. Fans united, feel the beat. Fins talk, family can't be beat. Fins up, we ride until the end. With Bobby and Hank, they're your best friends. Podcast popping every week, no delay. Join the crew, Fins talk today. Fins up, we ride until the end with Bobby.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special afternoon edition of Fins Talk today on FTSN. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by the one and only Fish Tank Hank. What's up, Fish Tank?
Yo, I just got to Key West. I went down Duval. Of course, there's nowhere to park like always, but I went down Duval, and then we decided to go grab some lunch. We had a little lasagna, and we can't get into our place till around 4 o'clock. I think they let you check in. So I have time to do a show with you.
There you go. Hey, wait. First off, Brian, John Cox in the comments here coming in with some breaking news that just came in from Adam Schefter. The Dolphins are downgrading Tua Tagovailoa to doubtful for tomorrow's game due to hip injury. Per sources, he is pushing to play, but if he can't, Huntley will be in line to replace him. Crap. So, way to bring down the mood. But no, thank you, Brian. We appreciate you coming in. Fitzstanza's in there as well. He says Chargers are winning. Trista just came in. Appreciate you. Kenna's in there as well. So, a lot is on the line. Not even just tomorrow. Obviously, Miami needs to win to keep the playoff hopes alive. But you need the Chargers and the Broncos to lose, especially the Broncos to lose. Broncos lose, Colts lose, Miami wins and wins, they're in. But if Tua is out tomorrow, who's downgraded to doubtful, Fish Tank, what's the hopium sound like? Is there any hopium left to smoke?
Yes. And
okay.
I always have lots of hopium. You know, when you look at it, yeah, he's doubtful. But guess what? When everybody else is listed as doubtful, they always play. So, I think he'll play still. That's what I think. But if he doesn't play, let's say he doesn't, well, then I'm going to be a little concerned because this offense is obviously set up for him to run it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I will say when you watched him even last week in the win, you look at some of those throws and there was questions. I mean, is he fully healthy? What's going on? And, obviously when the playoffs are on the line, the season is on the line, you want your best out there. And that's probably what he was doing. Now he's doubtful to play. If Denver and Chargers win today and Miami is mathematically eliminated at that point, or just there's no shot in hell, then I could see where, he's not going to play. If the Broncos lose and there is still a slim chance for Miami to get in, I could see where they say, hey, you know what? The season's on the line. I have to be out there. He has to be out there. Let's get him going. And if he struggles or there looks like further injury in that game where he's getting banged the hell up, you pull him and save him for, to let him rest during the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
And that's what Kenna brings up a great point. Is it really smart for Tua to play on a hip injury, though, especially since we might be running it back next year? That's where the question, if the season's on the line, if Miami still has a shot at the playoffs, it will be, I can understand, unless it's a season-ending type of situation, You want your best
Yeah.
guy out there, and at quarterback, no matter what you think, the best guy out there for Miami is Tua. Now, if Dolphins are eliminated today, no, you do not play him tomorrow. You don't do that. It's the
Yeah.
same hit he hurt also. Again, this is what sucks about the Dolphins situation. It's just the backup quarterback situation.
Yeah.
That's where, right now I was going, okay, we know what the narratives are, Fish Tank. We know it's it's cold weather. It's in Cleveland. It's on the road. Playoffs are on the line. You go, damn, dude, this is tough. But Cleveland is not a good team. Yesterday I was talking about this. I felt more worried about the New York game than I do about the Cleveland game, because New York's a divisional game. It's in New York. Aaron Rodgers is playing good football. I feel good about this game. But if Tua's not playing, that changes a whole lot of narratives right there, Fish Tank.
Yeah, it does.
Right now,
I had hopes, but that's kind of, like you said, we still need two teams to lose for us to even get in anyway.
that's the problem right there, and that's what sucks too, to be in that situation again, Hank. Because as long as you've been a Dolphin fan for most of your life, and I've most of my life, 30 plus years, that's always seems majority, especially the last 20 years, been the situation for Miami, relying on another team to lose so you could have a shot to go in. It's just
Yeah.
there you go, 50 plus. So that's the opportunity right there. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate you. It's not cold in Ohio this weekend. It's 50 plus. That's perfect. That's perfect. And so, but if Tua's not going to play, that's a tough pill to swallow. But we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Even if Tua doesn't play, how Miami could possibly win that game. That doesn't help at all. But we'll talk about all of that. But right now, as Constanza's brought up, the first game on the docket today for Miami to be watching is that Chargers game, and the Chargers currently winning 7-0 against New England, and Denver plays at 4:30. Fish Tank facing against the Cincinnati Bengals. We don't need Denver. We need Denver to lose the last two games, which is realistic with who they play. Just depends on what's going on with Kansas City. Does Kansas City decide to stick to starters? Do they play at least one half of football? It's true. It could go down that way. An hour out in Indianapolis, so it's about 58 now. Kenna, where do you live, man? If you don't mind me asking, you're about an hour 8 of Indianapolis. I live in near Nashville, so I'm outside of. I'm not too far off in Indianapolis. I'd love to know, my man. But anywho, so oh man, wow, that's some crazy news right now with Tua possibly being out, and we saw, you go, oh, but we could still win. Cleveland's not a good team, but Miami without Tua against bad teams was just bad, dude, just freaking bad, So it's like, it's a damn Fish Tank. I don't know, man. This was stuff we weren't expecting. This we were just going to preview the game and get the hell out of here. We got some breaking news coming in with Tua talking about Lois.
Well, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but
100%. But you know what? Hey, this is where it's next man up. Do your job. The report is that Tyler Huntley supposedly could be back next season. It's not a guarantee he's going to be your QB2, but it's a guarantee that it would be a guarantee that he would be battling for QB2 or be your QB3. But here's an audition for you. If he ends up starting tomorrow, this is his opportunity to show, hey, I could be that guy. I could win you these type of games and do you this favor. And he came from Baltimore. He has experience playing against Cleveland. He knows what that's about. He knows what it's like to play there. So this will be huge for him to step up. So, you're Indianapolis. Gotcha. I gotcha. So, wow. So we'll get back to that towards the end there. But my goodness, that totally threw me the hell off. But as we know, Miami beat San Francisco last week, 29-17. They are 3-2 in the last 5 games, where Cleveland is 1-5. I mean, 1-4. Excuse me, 1-4. And the last 2 games they have not scored over 10 points. They had 7 points against KC, 6 points against Cincinnati. Fish Tank, before you heard about the Tua news, what was your gut feeling on this game?
My gut feeling was that Miami could win this game. And, there's a lot of reasons why Miami could could have come back and won this game. I don't know. With Huntley, he's been there all year though, so I don't know. I don't know. There's little
Sliver.
inkling of hope.
I got you.
And that's only because and I feel that way because Huntley's been with the team all year. So he's got to know the plays by now and those types of things. He's got to be in there pretty good, is my point. Now nobody's going to get rid of the ball as quick as Tua does, as far as all those timing passes that they do and all that stuff. We know that. So, but this might be the game where you launch downfield. See, we haven't been doing that. And we have the talent to launch the ball down the field. So what should you do? Well, you got Achane. Is Washington still playing? He's still playing.
Yeah.
And you got Hill still playing. Is Waddle still playing?
Waddle is questionable. Questionable is better than doubtful. Doubtful is like, I doubt he'll be there, Questionable is, okay, he's questionable, and then they go ahead and they upgrade him to, he starts. So, or he plays.
So we have at least 4 weapons to go deep with. At least 4. Huntley can throw that ball. Huntley can spin a football. And I really think that if Miami can protect him, and he can also run too. So even, he puts in a whole different mechanics to what this offense is possible of being able to do. I actually think we could still win it.
Yeah. I think, that's the thing with Miami, right? You look at the Dolphins, and we know how important Tua is, and this definitely hurts Miami's chances. No question, no doubt. However, there is too much talent on this team, and its offense especially, for Miami to drop this type of game. Even if, no matter who your quarterback is, and Fishing brings up a good point with Tyler Huntley being here throughout the season. You would think someone like Skyler, who was there for 3 seasons, to get the play, but he just wasn't there. He just digressed. So you have to hope that Huntley is the opposite of that and shows some competence back there if he's the one starting tomorrow for Miami. But I look at the situation, Fish Tank, and I'll tell you why there's still a sliver of hope in regards of a victory. We got to rely. I can't talk about Denver or the Chargers, because we got to focus on Miami. But Miami to win this game tomorrow, why there's sliver of hope is because of what you're bringing up, the talent. Devon Achane, what he did last week, 120 yards, 60 in the ground, a touchdown, 60 yards through the air. That's somebody you cannot ignore. Tyreek Hill, I don't know what's up with him. I'm at the point where I don't want to say we got to rely on him, because he hasn't been what he usually is this year. And it seems like his focus is on other things. I hate to say it like that, because I love the guy and I think he's awesome on this football team, and I want to see him be the Tyreek that we know and love. But he just hasn't been that. And, posting pictures on Instagram, Fish Tank, of him in a Chargers jersey, and, joking around about leaving and coaching and shit. So it's like, focus on the season, focus on that, I'm all for jokes and stuff, but it's like, Malik Washington, though, I'm really impressed with him. Jonnu Smith is just on another level. Jalen Waddle, we got to pray that he plays tomorrow, but how much useful will he be? But you're right. There's too much talent on this team that to ignore saying that there's no hope. There's hope. These guys need to stop. And if Tyreek and Waddle are playing even without Tua, you're paid way too much money not to put in your time. Show up, do your job, be the leaders, call out your teammates, get them going to win this football game and do your job. Do not lose out.
Hey, and Huntley's got an arm, and so I don't know. I think it's going to be an exciting game.
Well, and again, you're right. So, and I'll say this, even if Miami is eliminated, even today, which will suck, and we'll look at, here we go, and then everybody can shit the wagon and go crazy and go off on your thing and your tangents. But if it happens today, here's what's to look for tomorrow. If it is a Tyler Huntley playing, you get an opportunity to see your potential backup. So that way, hey, you know what, we're actually okay with him. Or you say, no, we definitely need another guy. And then you get to see that. You get to see possibly the younger guys play, Malik, Jalen Wright. You get probably save a little bit on the other guys. That's something to look forward to when you go to think about next year. And Miami still needs to close out strong, even if they can't just sit back and allow them to go. They're 7-8, 7-10. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Do not do that. I know too. I mean, we talked about this last week, Fish Tank, or excuse me, earlier this week actually. But we talked about it where Mike McDaniel was giving the game ball. People are like, oh, he's safe, and you brought up a great point. Yeah, that looks really good, but that doesn't mean he's safe. That could just be hey, I appreciate what you're doing. I understand how hard, but yeah, your job's not. That could be a goodbye thing, and we don't know. We do know. I think we both agree that something needs to happen. Something needs to change. And my first vote goes. I know people talk about quarterback. I know they're talking about head coach. I don't ignore any of those, especially when Tua's going to be. It could possibly be out again in a very important game. I'm looking at the general manager. When I see stuff like this and I see where we're at, it starts with the guy at the very top. He's the bricklayer. He's the one who lays down that foundation of that team. And when
he's laid a bunch of eggs, is what he's laid.
That's right. He's put a lot of silly putty, man. He ain't putting bricks. He's putting some Jello. What the hell's going on there, Fish Tank?
And the thing that saves him is he'll get like a Chop Robinson or somebody like that.
Yes,
somebody that has talent that might be able to develop. But he's also grabbing those other guys that are always injury prone. He does that. He tries to get in cheap by grabbing somebody that's injury prone every time. And it doesn't work.
He's on the phone.
It doesn't work. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. You're right. And the other stuff too. I mean, you look at those gems, right? You look at the bust, Eichenberg instead of the Jonathan Taylor. We could go on and on. You look at that draft class. There are some hitters, but there's a lot of misses as well. But okay, you skip that and you go and people go, oh, but look at the trades. He got Tyreek. He got this guy. He got that guy. Well, when you have an owner who's telling you, hey, yeah, spend the money, use the draft picks, whatever, and it doesn't equate to anything. That's a huge problem. The other issue is I saw this earlier this week, which is so true from Jason Sarney, who was talking about that Greer's biggest problem is not keeping his guys. You look at what Robert Hunt is doing in Carolina. Carolina's having a bad year, but Robert Hunt is having a killer year. You look at Andrew Van Ginkel in Minnesota. You're like, what the hell? Why can't we just keep our studs and add to this? That's a big issue in Miami, especially with Chris Greer at the helm. Kenneth says trade Tyreek
on
this
the
offseason. Yeah, it does fall on the GM. Kenneth says trade Tyreek
Totally.
this offseason. Let Tua go, save money, and go after that Manning kid. All right. Well, three things. Well, first off, don't sleep on that with Tyreek. Tua, well, I highly doubt he'll be gone this year. He won't. But don't sleep on that in regards of this year or next year, because Atlanta, look what they did with Kirk Cousins. They signed him to a big deal. They drafted Michael Penix, and they're moving on from him after this season. And then you go ahead and you look at the Manning kid. That kid won't come out till next year. So that's why I don't think Miami would do. I think Miami could possibly look at somebody in the later rounds to kind of compete with Huntley if that was the case. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and see if there's any other news here. Man, that took up a lot of time. That's okay though. Dolphins announced right now we have signed Izukama to the active roster and have placed Kendall Fuller on the injury reserve list. And they've also elevated Nick Needham and Skylar to the active roster for the game tomorrow. So that tells you a lot by Tua right there. If they're elevating Skylar up, he's going to be the backup to Tyler Huntley. Tua more than likely will not play tomorrow. That's what it's looking like. So, my prediction will change in regards to score. That's what I'm going to say in regards to score. But anyway, Fish Tank, first off, I know you are going to party it out, my man. You are chilling out. You're in Key West, which is awesome. So you don't have to worry about anything with Miami in regards of all that. You watch a game, enjoy the game, move on, go party, have a blast. But before you do that, my man, talk to me about keys to victory with Miami. I mean, this news with Tua is huge. Tua not possibly playing, more than likely not playing tomorrow. He's doubtful with a hip injury tomorrow, which sucks. But it won't matter if Denver and Chargers win today. But however, give me your keys to victory. What does Miami need to do? Let's say without Tua, if it goes without Tua, how Fish Tank, what do you Miami needs to do to win this game tomorrow?
Absolutely. Miami has got to stop the dink and dunk. If they're playing with Huntley, they need to use his talent. And one of his talents is to go deep. So I'm going to say protect Huntley, keep him upright so he can go deep. That's the first thing. Second thing is our defense, we're getting some pieces back. Those pieces are important. I like Needham. I like him
Yeah.
a lot, you know. So getting him back is positive, and we're actually holding up pretty good on defense right now, to be honest with you. So that's the other key, is we have to start to get after the quarterback in the trenches. We have to be able to break through and pressure the young DTR. It is DTR that's playing, right?
More than likely, yeah. Jameis is questionable, but like you said, questionable could mean starting, but still, it's more than likely going to be DTR.
Okay. So, if it is DTR, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to get after the quarterback. I mean, cause some mistakes. He's young. He'll make some mistakes. Just keep pressuring him, especially with our secondary. Our secondary is still good. They're still good. So those are the first two keys. And my third key is we have to party like there's no other day coming. And the Miami Dolphins players have to take this serious and get ready to knuckle down.
Yeah.
And, when I say that, I'm talking special teams. They need to go in there as a unit to compete. Now, they already have the benefit of the fact that the weather's going to be beautiful up in Cleveland. Come on, when do you get 50s up there, at this time of year? Talk about lucky.
Absolutely.
And Huntley's used to playing in weather. So that's another part of this too. There's a lot of positives we could take away from this whole Tua thing. So that's it. Those are my keys. You got to party, have a good time with it. I might be in Key West, but I'm still in my car. My car says Dolphins.
That's
so
right.
If we lose, people talk to me a lot about the Dolphins losing.
Man. I know. It's hard to escape it. I know. You got a big bullseye.
Yeah.
Again, here's the silver lining. If the Dolphins are eliminated today and or Tua doesn't play tomorrow, you get to see what Huntley can do in this situation. You get to see Huntley play with possibly, and we don't know if the season is officially over today. Do you see Calais Campbell play tomorrow? Maybe you don't. You could see him possibly released, so he goes sign somewhere else. Does Tyreek play? You probably don't see that. They probably shut him down. So you get to see a lot of these other guys come in and step in. These younger guys come in and step in and try to get something done. It's basically becomes a glorified preseason game. And at that point, yeah, it does suck because at that time it's over. But however, now you get to see, those guys, what a Tyler Huntley can do, what a Malik Washington, Easy E. You get to see those guys step up and see if they could possibly pull this one out against a Cleveland Browns team. And how Mike McDaniel finishes when your team has nothing to play for. Do they still come out and win? Because at that point, they're playing for you. So if your team comes out and they lay an egg after being eliminated from the playoffs, that's an issue for me. I understand, like Kenneth says, don't win. That's how we win. No, the Miami needs to play to win because you want to see what your young guys can do. If our young guys go in, Chop Robinson's still playing, all those other guys come in and they lay an egg and they lose 24-0 to Cleveland Browns, what the hell? We're going to be on post game screaming and going crazy.
Yeah, but to be fair, they could put a lot of backups in.
Well, fair,
If we have no chance tomorrow, they could put in a whole buttload of backups, and then we might suck and lose.
But that's
big.
that's my thing though. That's when the younger guys come in, those second stringers, the guys that are your backups or could possibly grow into bigger roles next year. They come in and you want to see them play hard. You want to see them play their best football, especially against a terrible Cleveland Browns football team. That's what I'm saying. I get it. Like, there'll be a reason why we lost that game, but I can understand the Jets more and more than ever. And I was always worried about the Jets after this game anyway. But against a 3-12 Cleveland team, you need to play your best football. Even with the backups in there, so it's going to be interesting to see what and how Miami wins. I think your keys of the game are perfect, Fish Tank. When it comes to, if it's Tyler Huntley playing tomorrow, for me, my key first off, lean on your guys. If Miami's not eliminated, but it's him, lean on your star players, like you said, especially a Devon Achane. Get Jalen Wright some reps. Get your young guys some reps. He's the victory. Defense, there's no reason why Cleveland's offense should score any points on you or run the field on you. Show some pride, shut them down, and just smart coaching. You should not lose this game. It sucks. And here's the narrative right here for McDaniel. Call a good game. Show that you could coach past Tua. That's important. Because if you come in without Tua and Tyler Huntley throws 3 interceptions, 0 touchdowns, or whatever, what the hell are we doing here? If you're so good with Tua, become a QB coach, because that's what you're good at. Do your job. Get your guys ready. So it's going to be very interesting, Fish Tank. But we're at the 26-minute mark. It's a shorter show today, but Fish Tank is going to party like it's 1999. But Fish Tank, let me ask you, my man. So with all that and all, let's say, okay, let's do this. If you don't mind, you want to do one score, that's fine. Tua plays tomorrow. What's your prediction?
If Tua plays tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Depends on if we have a chance or not. I would say Tua's not going to play if we don't have a chance to start.
All right,
with.
So go with if Tua doesn't play tomorrow. What's your prediction and final score?
My prediction is 24-17 Miami.
Without Tua.
Without Tua.
Okay.
I think, like I said, Tua is the key for this Maserati. However,
I love that.
However,
yes, sir.
Huntley has talents that Tua does not. His running ability and his deep ball passing is it's going to take people for surprise. Watch and see. I think he's going to throw 2 or 3 touchdowns tomorrow.
Interesting. All right. For me, Fish Tank, I'll say this. With Tua, I had it originally 24-9 Miami. Without Tua, I'm going to go 13-9 Miami. Miami, I believe, still can win this game. I think they could still win this football game. Cleveland is just that bad of a team. I would be very disappointed no matter who's playing if Miami loses to a Cleveland Browns team that hasn't scored over 10 points in the last 2 weeks. And it hasn't won a game in 4 weeks. So I still have it 13-9. Yes, scant dollar. Tua is doubtful. Skylar Thompson has been elevated for tomorrow's game with Tyler Huntley more than likely starting. That tells you what you really need to know. Tua more than likely is out, and it won't surprise us, especially if Miami is eliminated this afternoon with the Denver and Chargers game. But anyway, guys,
it would surprise me because I think that Denver is going to lose to the Bengals.
Yeah, that could happen. That game, especially, for sure. So is the player ready? Is the player ready for Huntley system? If you get me. Is the player ready for a Huntley system? If you get, that's the big thing. And so I hopefully I'm answering this correctly for you, Kenna. That's what I was talking about with McDaniel. If Tyler Huntley starts tomorrow, it's going to be huge for McDaniel to show that he can run a reliable offense or call a reliable game, a good offensive game with another quarterback at the helm. Because when Tua is not there, he has shown that McDaniel can't get past that. He struggles with other quarterbacks in his system. So that's going to be huge. The body of work says no, but hopefully tomorrow he could prove that's wrong. Cat for Life, is it true Tua is out tomorrow? 99, I think about 99% sure he is out tomorrow. especially if they're eliminated today, but more than likely either way, because Skylar has been elevated and Tua is doubtful. When it's doubtful, it usually means out. If somehow, some way Denver loses today and Miami still has a shot, I could see Tua pushing to play. But right now he is very doubtful to play. Fish Tank, any final words, my man?
No, thanks for having me, even though I'm in Key West and partying.
All good, brother.
But I just got here, so
Our room's ready.
now it's time to party. And my room's ready, so it's time to party.
There you go. Hey, perfect timing. Right on the money.
Right on the money.
Everyone, appreciate you all tuning in. Later today, FTSN is still rolling. We'll have No Holds Barred Wrestling. We'll be doing our year-end awards for the 2024 year. And tomorrow, join me and Finstanza on the pregame show as we continue this sad discussion. But that's the one and only Fish Tank Hank. I'm Bobby Finstock. We appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and always, no matter what, fins up.
Fins up.